All right. So this podcast is not going to get videos, but I still want to promote it because we out here promoting my own shit, right? Anyways, the My Two Cents podcast. If you're unfamiliar with the My Two Cents podcast, it's my podcast that I do every week, just like this podcast. But instead of talking about the worldly topics that I talk about here, I simply just talk about music. So I listen to an album, I review it, and that is the podcast there. Or I just talk about specific songs or things that's going on within the music industry, music based discussions in general. If you want my thoughts on that, the only way you will find those episodes or just my thoughts on that is by subscribing to the My Two Cents podcast. In the link description box below, you will find all the DSPs to where you can find the My Two Cents podcast. Appreciate your support. Support that podcast just like you're supporting this one. Now back to the show.
Man, I'm so glad that I ain't outside. It is cold in the mug from what I see. Anyways, this last topic here, I'm glad I did my research like literally before, and as you can see, the light is on. It's nighttime now, but that's how long I was doing research, and I also was prepping for dinner. But I've been doing research for some time about this last subject because I was about to go into it looking real foolish had I spoken on it without actually doing the research. So I'm still talking about TD Jakes, as you can see from the title. I'm here to talk about TD Jakes, but I'm also going to weigh in on the allegations surrounding TD Jakes. Now, prior to me doing my research, and literally I did the research like moments ago, for some time ago, you know what I'm saying? So today, you know, but prior to doing that, I thought it was just gay rumors surrounding TDJ. So just people, throwing his name into the rumor mill of he's really gay, y'all. And this was going to be a totally different video because I was, I'm no way, shape, or form a TD Jakes fan. I tried looking into his sermons some time ago. I just think they're boring, and therefore I don't feel the need to look into them. I also found out today that he traditionally has a homophobic he doesn't support same sex anything, and tends to be really big on homophobia and all that, and that's not something that I personally would align myself with. um if a preacher were to preach that type of message, I'm not saying people have to. I only listen to people who agree with me on everything, on 100% everything. But if you have like a straight up like staunch message against something that I don't necessarily think is wrong, especially when it comes to like the church scene and all this other stuff, yeah, you're not going to. Why would I spend my time, waste my time? You know what I'm saying? It's not even spending time, it's wasting my time. Why would I waste my time in your church? Why would I waste my time watching your service online? None of that. You know what I'm saying? So I just decide, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not the preacher for me. But prior to learning all of that, I just thought people were just throwing his name into this hat, just to be goofy and be homophobic themselves, because a lot of people, just a lot of the same folks who claim to not be homophobic, use homosexuality to shame men in particular, but to shame individuals, right? Um, I saw TD Jake's name trending a couple weeks ago, right? I didn't look into it because, again, he's not someone who really interests me. And I don't necessarily look into why everyone is trending when somebody is trending on social media. So I saw it trending on X, and I just thought nothing of it. I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling about, just, checking on notifications, answering messages. That's really the reasons why I be on Facebook. If I get a notification, I look into it, see what's what. If I get a message, I answer it. That's about it. Sometimes I do a little bit of scrolling. That's about it. But This one time I was doing a little bit of scrolling. I saw someone make a joke, and again, it was a joke directed at TD Jakes' sexuality. And my thing is, um, whether I'm a fan of you or not, whether I know you or not, I don't think it's funny to make fun of people's sexuality. And again, I think it's hypocritical, especially of people who claim not to be against people of certain sexual identifications, and yet you want to make fun of someone else who shares said same sexual identification, simply because it might not be the person that you know, like your gay best friend or your gay brother or your lesbian sister or your whatever, right? Just because it's not someone that you know and you love the individual who is of the queer community does not mean that it doesn't mean that you're not homophobic or queerphobic simply because you don't hate the gay person in your life, but you make fun of the someone else of the community, right? Or just simply just rumors of them and all this stuff. Now, I didn't hear about the rumors of him joining the Diddy cons, as I put it, a couple weeks ago, because his name is being thrown into the hat as one of the individuals who is at Diddy's parties, and there's some same-sex activity going on, but it's much deeper than that, much more serious than that regarding TD Jakes, and hence why I'm talking about this. I'm only talking about this first part just to give y'all a big heads up on what I thought I was going to do here and what I am going to do here. That's why I just wanted to clear some things up. Is this like, I'm gonna put the brightness up on this thing, but that's what I'm going to do here. So I was almost going to come to his defense because I thought y'all was just throwing his name in a hat. Oh, he's a preacher, he's a Christian. How funny would it be to say that he goes to these Diddy conventions and he's having sex with men? But there's a video that I saw. It's a 12-minute video, and I will play said video and respond to it at different points in time. I will also I'll also hope to. I will leave the video in the description box below for you to look at this video yourself. Because I will be responded to points being made in the video, and why not? Why not give these folks credit for, their work? So it's a video by Spill Today. The title is TD Jakes officially arrested after his son confirms rumors. I can tell you right now, it's still alleged that TD Jakes actually got arrested for sexual assault. It's not confirmed. Nothing has been confirmed that he was arrested. Just like nothing has been confirmed that what TD Jakes is being alleged of is true. But nonetheless, I know it's going to kind of be a little bit awkward. Y'all watching me, for those who are watching me, watch this video. But y'all can hear it yourselves. And like I said, if you want to watch it yourself, peep the link in the description box below. Let's play. Well, let's turn on this phone and then play.
Just recently today, I've heard from 2 other victims that so it's just a lot to talk about, that experienced the same thing that I experienced.
The people he was speaking up for turned out to be alleged victims of TD Jakes' not-so-pretty side. You'd be quick to doubt it, but taking a look at the man's history makes it a little difficult to contend.
TD Jakes was hanging out at a rapper and twerking party.
What?
That Puff Daddy held. He's sitting right there. Old TD Snakes.
Even someone who's been at
I don't know who that pastor is, but when I first saw this, and I'm honestly trying not to laugh, because I thought his delivery was funny, and there was a couple moments. This is a very serious topic, so I shouldn't be laughing. But y'all know how fucked up I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to. You know how effed up I am. But I ain't effed up like TD Jakes. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. So I'm a work in progress, but I ain't this dirty. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. But I just want to clarify once again, the reason as to why I was going to come to his defense has zero to do with, oh my God, he's such a great person. From what I've seen, I think his delivery is boring, and he's just another pastor to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know much of him to have made some assumption. Being a person of God or being in the church, it doesn't automatically qualify you a good person to me. I know there's a lot. I know there's a lot of not so good people within the church. So being a man of God or being someone who goes to church does not automatically qualify someone as a good person to me. I, again, was going to come to his defense because I thought that people were just throwing his name into some allegations because they thought it was funny. And again, I was going to get on my soapbox about how it's not funny to accuse people of being gay if they're not, and two, even if they were gay, so what? Why is that deemed funny to you? That's what I was going to say.
And at those parties was shocked at the news of a public preacher showing up there.
Rumors surrounding, Diddy and TD Jakes.
Why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going?
And it's not just his bodyguard that feels that way.
In TD Jakes' defense, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm joking around, but Jesus hung around sinners, so I mean, I'm not saying TD Jakes is Jesus, but if Jesus could do it, so can TD Jakes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Other people in the entertainment industry with insider knowledge say he's much worse than he appears to the world.
See, they're up in another hemisphere than regular, too. They're very insulated. They can do what they want.
Shout out to my girl, Linnell. I love
Every
Linnell.
day you get to see famous preachers in the headlines. And in most cases, when you do see them, it's usually for something related to their message. Over the past couple of weeks, TD Jakes has gone against this expected tide of people in his line of work, as the famed bishop has been wrapped up in some rather unusual news. Now, his media appearances have taken an even worse direction, with his name making the news right next to allegations of arrest. I mean, unlike most preachers, Jakes is actually no stranger to being the center of media attention. His church growth over the years, coupled with his involvement with several successful figures in the entertainment industry, has earned him an almost unshakable spot in society. And you know what comes with that kind of success? Fame. Well, it seems his messages aren't the only thing he's famous for, as recent news reports are saying the man might not exactly be a follower of his own message. There are successful theologists in the world, and then there are people like Bishop T.D. Jakes, who seem to have figured out a way to bridge the gap between the entertainment community, particularly the hip-hop scene, and biblical messages. Not only has the man been involved with several high-profile figures both within and outside the black community, but his reach even spans into the international scene. However, like many people religious leader alike, Jakes has constantly faced criticism for his associations with several high-net-worth individuals that most people consider sketchy. The preacher, however, has always let those claims fly right over his head, as he never seemed to pay any mind to people he believed were against him, until now. These days, we're finding out that Jakes might not exactly be the sinless saint many people have thought him to be through the years. See, the thing with getting caught up in controversy after controversy in a world that is ruled by headlines is that at one point or the other, those...
I do want to say something, and this is just a thought, and I haven't spoke, so just to let y'all know, hey, I'm still here, but nah. If you are of the church, or if you believe that people who go to church are people who don't sin, you don't know human beings at the end of the day. And I think that, and when I say don't sin, I simply just mean people who are not flawed. If you think that there are people out there in the universe, no matter what their religious ties are, if they even have any, who are not flawed individuals, again, you are that's dumb. To put it very lightly, that's very dumb of you. whether you belong to a religion or not. That's very dumb of you to believe that these people, especially if they do belong to a religion, these people are not flawed individuals. We are all flawed individuals. You know? Some are very heavily flawed, and yes, that is a problem. But to believe that no one is, quote, without sin or without flaw, it's you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not sound thinking. I just had to get that off because of what the AI lady said. And yes, this is an AI voice, by the way. This ain't no real person speaking, but, well, it's a real person speaking right now, but in this video, it's just AI. But I don't knock the hustle. I just keep it real.
Those controversies start to cast a shadow on anything you might be involved in. This was somewhat the story with Jakes, as people started to question whether the bishop might not have been entirely innocent of the claims that have been coming
Nice
out
voice,
against
though,
him.
for AI.
The fury of this fire became even more intense after not just one, but two people recently came out to admit that they individually had dark experiences involving the preacher being inappropriate with them while they were younger. In an unexpected twist of fate, the preacher's own son also happened to be caught up in a situation that made people more open to believing the recent allegations about him. He might have been caught up in more dire situations in the past, but the timing of these stories couldn't possibly be worse for him.
You look just like the sinner! Just like the sinner!
You may not even know anything about the message he preaches, but there's almost no chance you haven't heard anything about T.D. Jakes. And while his church might be the main thing that brought him to the center of the media, there have been several other news reports that have kept him there. Some are more unexpected than you'd think, as was the case with the news about his son. Per a Dallas police reports, the son of T.D. Jakes, the Dallas megachurch pastor who's called Homo S a brokenness and declared that he would never hide.
This AI actually does block herself out a lot, or does the TikTok thing where they will not say specific words because they claim the algorithm is going to block their videos if they say specific words. So Homo S is homosexuality. When they say S act, they mean sex act. When they say SA, they mean sexual assault. When they say G, I believe they're saying gay, right? They also block out other words that other people say. That preacher that you heard screaming, that other one, that the same dude that was screaming on, that called him TD Snakes, he was screaming, a few seconds ago or so. I believe he cussed. You know what I'm saying? That's my kind of preacher, but nah. I believe he said, I believe he said, and I'm just quoting what I believe he said, you fuck like the sinner. Meaning that you pretty much have sinful sex, which in the Bible, or what some people say that's in the Bible, people will say that in the Christian, faith, that homosexual sex is one form of sinful sex. So, yeah. But just to clarify, if you hear S act, sexual act, SA, sexual assault, G, just the letter G, they mean gay. If you hear graped, that's the one I hate the most. But if you hear graped, they mean rape. My problem with the censoring of these words is I believe it takes away the severity of the actual issue. If we're not going to keep it real and keep it honest and actually use the correct terminology, situations like this don't get taken seriously, and you have people trying to it actually strays people away from wanting to talk about these things because they're afraid that if they say these words on TikTok or on YouTube or wherever, that they're going to either get demonetized or get the video taken down, or whatever the thing is, get taken down. That's a problem. Now, if demonetization is a thing that you care more about than actually putting a message out there, that is a problem to me, because I understand wanting to make money for the things that you do. I'm making money right now as far as creating this podcast, through ad placement. But in no way, shape, or form am I going to censor myself by saying, yeah, do I censor myself saying certain words? Yeah, I literally said in this episode that I wanted to stop cursing and curse less and take it to a minimum, or at least not do so much cursing on screen. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, as far as when it comes to using certain words in certain situations that are, to me at least, you have to use these words, because again, it, by not using them, it not only takes away the severity of the issue of the allegation, but it also deters people from wanting to even talk about these things and expose these things, because they're like, oh snap, if I say this word, this video might get taken down. If I say this word, then the video might go on mute like it was a Beyonce concert. Like, no, we can't. And this is more so to the developers of these apps and these platforms. You can't punish people for saying these things. Punish people for encouraging these things, and punish people for actually doing these things. Not saying words like sexual act and rape. So you're not going to hear me say some goofy stuff like great. No. If I say grape, it's because I'm actually talking about grapes, not rape. Let us continue.
Hire a S-active gay person was arrested in a gay S-sting in Keys Park a while back. Jermaine Donald Jakes faced a charge of indecent exposure after allegedly exposing
Jermaine Donald Jakes oddly looks like P. Diddy too. That's crazy.
Senior CPL Janice
like a
Crowther,
fat P. Diddy.
TDD spokeswoman, confirmed at the time that the detectives were both male.
Or fatter P.
According to
Diddy.
the arrest affidavit, the detectives were investigating a citizen complaints of S activity when they observed Jakes and several other unknown males park their vehicles in the lot east of the park. The detectives followed Jakes into a wooded area, where he approached them with his exposed through his unzipped pants. The affidavit stated.
So again, they're talking
Jakes
about
then
TD Jakes' son, not actual TD Jakes, his son Jermaine Jakes, where this happened. You know, fat P. Diddy. I'm sorry. You know, I got a joke, you know, sometime. But they're talking about his son. His son exposed his penis to a couple of undercover cops, which he did not know were undercover cops. And these were actually two male undercover cops. And his son is obviously arrested for, or got arrested for that.
For several seconds while making eye contact with one of the detectives. The famous bishop's son did not attempt to conceal his despite people walking and jogging on a trail nearby, according to the affidavit. Court records say Jermaine Jakes listed his place of employment as TD Jakes Ministries, which most people considered strange because of the situation, but Jakes was later released at the scene after being detained. For those who may not be aware, TD Jakes is the founder of the Potter's House, a 30,000 member church in South Dallas. The contrast to this story is that the preacher is a vocal opponent of same-sex marriage. He's even been criticized by HIV/AIDS activists for undermining the prevention of the disease by stigmatizing homo-s and drug use. Yet here's his son literally getting caught with his pants down. On same-sex marriage, Jakes once told USA Today, "To date, I have not seen scriptural authority that allows me to stand on behalf of God and say, I now pronounce you husband and husband and wife and wife. This is an issue the government is undecided about. The Bible is not." Jermaine Jakes' attorney, Faith Johnson, issued a written statement.
Whether I agree with that statement, that was kind of bars right there. I ain't gonna front. It's messed up, but that was kind of bars. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Following week. We are aware of potential allegations involving Jermaine Jakes and are undertaking our own investigation of these allegations at this time, the statement said. Given an apparent government investigation, we have no further comment at this time. While it's already sketchy enough that his son was caught up in a rather unusual scandal, the preacher may also soon have to address SA allegations in court after one of his former mentees, Manasseh Jordan, stated in a recent video that victims of the alleged power bottom bishop are preparing to sue him. Remember when I said there were claims against him? This is exactly what I was referring to.
Two of the offenders were not only a victim of, that's what I described, but of SA. So
Manasseh Jordan, a former mentee of Bishop T.D. Jakes, who claimed that the prominent Dallas pastor groomed him, stated that more victims have come forward and he has spoken with them. It is no secret that Manasseh Jordan probably once laid his head upon Bishop T.D. Jakes' shoulders, as we've seen in the photo floating around, with Diddy's head resting on the shoulders of the Black Pope. It seems like Manasseh has finally found a way to escape from the hands of the enemy and is now using his platform to help other victims. In a video posted by Manasseh on December 30th, he discussed the new victims who have come forward against Bishop T.D. Jakes. Just recently today, I've heard from 2 other victims that it's just a lot to talk about, that experienced the same thing that I experienced, Manasseh said in the video.
Today I've heard from 2 other victims that so it's just a lot to talk about, that experienced the same thing that I experienced.
Manasseh alleges that 2 victims he spoke with were allegedly groomed and SA'd by Bishop T.D. Jakes. Elsewhere in the video, Manasseh alleged that the 2 victims he spoke with talked to him about the G allegedly carried out by Bishop T.D. Jakes. He said the victims told him that Bishop Jakes had also allegedly to them. 2 of the offenders were not only a victim of G, as what I described in some of my previous videos, but of SA.
Okay, so G is great. They should have just said R. And this is what, again, it's just, you use this language in a court of law, or a serious court of law, like the serious court of law that we used to have. We never used to have a serious court of law. But you come across this language in a serious court. Like, if I was a judge and you're saying shit like this, I'm going to be like, just say it. Just say it. Or I'm going to throw the fucking case out because y'all aren't serious. And it causes confusion. So the G stands for great. Great stands for rate. Say R or say rate. Jesus Christ. Speaking of Jesus Christ in this situation, I had to. I'm sorry, yo.
Assault, Manasseh Jordan said, from the same predator that groomed me and violated me as a man. They're going to be pressing charges.
From the same that
They also block out predator. Again, just to go to the point that I said. No, stop AI lady. Calm down real quick. You're doing your thing though. But you block out predator. If you are accusing someone of being a predator, why the freak are we protecting them by not calling them a predator? I'm making myself mad now. Ooh. Today was a good day. Let me not. Alright? Let's continue. I promise you I'm going to try to keep the rest of this to a minimum. We have about 4 minutes left for this video at least.
For your son to be caught up in that very web you hate. But it's an entirely different story for you to be caught up in those very stories you so boldly stand against, wouldn't you agree? Even more so when there is a very obviously large possibility of it leading to a full-on legal battle. Well, seeing Manasseh's video struck a chord in a lot of people, as several of them took to social media to talk about his revelation on the preacher. One person wrote, Manasseh was so close to bursting into tears, I think he would have if he spoke any longer. He may say he's not a victim, I think he was a victim, or came close to becoming one. Sad. Another person who was more focused on the people supporting the alleged assaulter added, I've seen and experienced this firsthand. His breakdown gave me chills. The spell over followers who worship these men and women as gods must be broken. Of course,
I agree with that user. Real talk. Yes, I am someone who goes to church. Yes, I am someone who, is of the Christian faith. But in no way, shape, or form will I excuse this type of behavior, Christian or not. And if I were to find out some stuff like this were to go down in the church that I go to, best believe I'd be on here or just anywhere else and expose it. That's just the type of man I am. If I'm not a real Christian, I guess I'm not a real Christian.
The entire truth of this story is yet to be revealed, and while you could judge these people for reaching these conclusions without the entire story, T.D. Jakes hasn't exactly had a clean slate, even before these recent allegations. Only a couple of weeks back, the preacher was caught up in a situation involving a rapper. Let's just say that didn't help his credibility one bit. It's no secret that social media has become a dynamic platform where personalities rise to fame, trends emerge and dissipate, and controversies take center stage. The recent case involving famed cleric T.D. Jakes and rap mogul P. Diddy is a testament to this bustling online arena. TD Jakes, who at this point needs no introduction, found himself in the social media limelight, not for his religious teachings, but for his alleged association with P. Diddy. The unusual alliance between these two contrasting figures has ignited a barrage of speculation and conspiracy theories. Although Diddy, aka Sean Combs, is no stranger to controversy, this recent revelation adds a fresh twist to the rapper's already controversial image. At the heart of the online commotion tied to these major figures are a series of allegations made by TikTok influencer Mai Shia. A viral video in which she made allegations about Diddy's past relationship with former partner Cassie, including physical and SA claims, happens to be at the center. Among the startling revelations were tales of wild S parties allegedly thrown by Diddy, where TD Jakes was rumored to be a frequent guest. Further fueling the fire, the video also hinted at a covert phone belonging to Diddy's late ex-girlfriend Kim Porter, a death that was already been wrapped in mystery and conjecture, with Diddy's name in the front lines. This explosive video took the internet by storm, with fans in shock, particularly concerning Bishop Jakes' alleged participation in these questionable activities. As soon as word of his alleged involvement with Diddy hit the media, several fans started to jump on the conversation, and one user even mentioned that this is only where it begins. They wrote, "This is just the beginning of what is about to unfold about TD Jakes Ministries. There are a lot of skeletons in his closet, as well as how the ministry was run as well. Jakes attending many of P. Diddy parties is just the tip of the iceberg. Stay tuned for more as it unfolds." Following the accusations against him and the slew of backlash that followed it on social media, the preacher appeared to have responded to the claims. During a recent service at his church that was streamed on YouTube, Jakes used his sermon to seemingly clear the air over the allegations, which he deemed completely false.
Now I'm gonna close with this. I didn't come to convince you or nobody, because I know who I am.
"I didn't come to convince you or nobody because I know who I am," an emotional Jakes said. "That is not what this is about. You can think about whatever you want to think. I came to do my job. I came to prothesis as I was commanded. I came to hear the master say, 'Well done, thou good and faithful servant.'" While nothing has been outrightly confirmed yet, Jakes' colorful controversy-shrouded...
Saying all of that and actually being all of that are two different things. And a lot of pastors and a lot of bishops or a lot of people within the church don't seem to understand that. You know? Or they know that, but, you know, they have it convinced that it's, you know, they want you to be fooled into thinking these are the same things. But, you know, yeah.
...crowded history makes it difficult to pick his side on this. But maybe some undeniable evidence will come up and exonerate him. Who knows? That's it for this video. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. All right. That bye-bye was kind of pre-planned because when I first heard the AI goodbye, I was like... Anyways, I'm going to take a sip of water real quick because yikes. But as I stated, I was glad I did research. This isn't the only video on it. It's the only video I will share in the description box below because it's the only one that I'm quoting. But nonetheless, there are multiple videos. A lot of them actually came out yesterday. Yesterday being the day that I'm before I recorded this this episode, which I thought was interesting. But you know, YouTube works like that, where people will tend to line up their content. People of specific, you know, fields will tend to line up. I know this happens in the video game world, especially where if video game news came out about a certain video game or so, the content creators of said video game will then plan out together. They can be totally different, but they're planning out when they will release said, you know, their videos on whatever they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it may have been the case in this whole celebrity gossip news where yesterday, during certain times, they were like, let's all release the videos yesterday, that which was January 6th as I am recording this. And yeah, let's do it then. I don't know. Either or, it really don't matter. That don't really matter. That don't really matter. What matters is what was being said in said video, what is being alleged, and all that stuff. And this is stuff that is indefensible at all. Now, again, I don't know whether it's true or not, so I cannot tell you whether I believe them to be true. I don't know TD Jakes. I haven't followed dude long enough for me to say, yeah, I think they're true. Can I make inferences based off of finding out that he's really big on, he's really anti-gay, and yet there's been a lot of anti-gay, not only politicians, but a lot of anti-gay religious folks who have been exposed as being homosexual? Is that a clear red flag right there that maybe TD Jakes is definitely a gay, a very violent one at that, because he's a predator, or alleged predator? That might be the case here. That might be the case here for TD Jakes. But I can't speak on whether I believe it to be true or not. All I can say is what is being alleged of is very disgusting. And I'm very glad that I looked up this information prior to even getting on here and saying what I originally thought I was going to say. So I'm going to leave it at that, and that will be the end of this episode. If you have more to say, or if you know of more, please feel free to comment. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. If you believe he's guilty or not, feel free to share your thoughts. Simply because I say that I can't make that decision doesn't mean that other people haven't made that decision already. You know what I'm saying? People have their reasons, so I just listen to their reasons, But check out the other links in the description box below as well. Help support me and what I'm doing here. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the podcast. And until next time, until next episode, stay black if you are black. Stay beautiful. Black lives matter. LGBTQIA plus lives matter. I love y'all. TD Jakes might not love y'all, but I love y'all. Black women matter, black men matter, and black children matter. All right? And I'm out. Peace.